This is your world news broadcast. Up next are tonight's top stories. Algeria and Chad, now in a solid partnership. Chad calls it an ambitious model, and Algeria says it's ready to support Chad's development. Also in our news tonight, Algeria renews its push for the Trans-Saharan Highway as an economic corridor. It's promising to help finish the Chad, Niger, and Mauritania legs, and the other countries are giving Algeria credit for leading the way. And later on, Iran says it's halting operations against occupying Israel but threatens bigger strikes. Meanwhile, heavy Zionist bombing in southern Lebanon leaves casualties, and the death toll keeps climbing in Gaza as truce violations continue. Welcome back. First off in our news tonight, Algerian Prime Minister Sefiriev and his Chadian counterpart Elamai Halina laid the foundation stone on Monday for a new power plant in N'Djamena Farshad industrial zone. The 40-megawatt plant, a joint Algerian-Chadian project, will be built by Sonalgas International under an Algerian grant. According to the Algerian PM's office, the grant follows President of the Republic Mr. Abdelmajid Tebboune's directives and backs sustainable development, African solidarity, and cooperation through infrastructure that drives economic and social progress. In a speech on the occasion, Algerian Prime Minister Sefiriev said the launch of the Algerian-Chadian Solidarity Power Plant marks the start of a new phase of productive partnership and closer cooperation. He said the groundbreaking reflects a shared commitment by the leaders of both countries to elevate Algerian-Chadian relations into a strong strategic partnership based on solidarity, development, and mutual interests. Arib also reiterated President Tebboune's commitment to strengthening bilateral cooperation in support of shared goals aimed at building a more integrated and prosperous African space.
ويأتي هذا المشروع ليجسد
This project approved by the President of the Republic represents the first tangible outcome of a new dynamic set in motion by the official visit of His Excellency Marshal Mohammed Idriss Déby Itno to Algeria in April 2026. The launch of this project is clear proof that the agreement reached by the leaders of our two countries will not remain limited to document and statement. They have moved into the implementation phase, reflecting a genuine and sincere shared commitment and opening a new era built on productive partnership and mutual solidarity. We see this project as a symbol of new chapter in Algerian-Chadian relations, a chapter defined by joint achievement, built on strategic partnership and aimed at serving the interests of our two brotherly peoples. We are confident that this energy facility will stand as a living example of what can be achieved when there is a genuine political will, a commitment to the spirit of African solidarity and cooperation based on trust, mutual respect and shared benefit.
المتبادل والمنفعة المشتركة.
Arib reaffirmed Algeria's full and unwavering commitment to supporting Chad's development path through a range of strategic energy and hydrocarbons projects.
وإذ نضع اليوم حجر الأساس لهذه المحطة.
As we lay the foundation stone of this station today, we reaffirm that the ambitious energy roadmap drawn up by the President of our two countries extends to other strategic projects. Foremost among these are support for the N'Djamena project, the development of cooperation in geological exploration and seismic studies, the exchange of expertise and training, and the establishment of permanent joint mechanisms for consultation and coordination across all segments of the energy value chain. At the same time, we reiterate Algeria's full commitment to continuing its support for the sisterly Republic of Chad and its development journey through the transfer of expertise, capacity building, and the sharing of successful experiences accumulated by Algerian national institutions in the fields of energy, mining, industry, and infrastructure. On behalf of the President of the Republic, Abdelmajid Tebboune, I renew Algeria's steadfast commitment to standing alongside the Republic of Chad and strengthening bilateral partnership in a manner that promotes development, stability, and prosperity in our two brotherly countries, while contributing to the construction of a stronger, more integrated, and more prosperous Africa.
ويسهم في بناء إفريقيا أكثر قوة وتكاملا وازدهارا.
Algerian Prime Minister Sefiriev said Algeria and Chad share a unified vision for Africa's future, grounded in sovereignty, good neighborliness, sustainable development, and economic integration. Speaking at the groundbreaking ceremony for the Algerian-Chadian Solidarity Power Plant in N'Djamena on Monday, he welcomed the renewed momentum in bilateral relations since September 2025, which he said had opened a new and unprecedented chapter of strategic cooperation.
إن الجزائر وتشاد بما يجمعهما
Algeria and Chad, bound by deep historical and human ties, shared by a geography, united by a shared African identity, and strengthened through decades of solidarity, coordination, and mutual understanding on issues affecting our continent, share a common vision for Africa's future. This vision is based on sovereignty, good neighborly relations, dialogue and consultation, sustainable development, economic integration, and the strengthening of security and stability to meet the aspiration of African peoples for greater progress and prosperity. It is from this perspective that the new momentum in Algerian-Chadian relations since September 2025 has opened a new and unprecedented chapter of strategic cooperation. Algeria and Chad attach particular importance to major continental projects, notably the Trans-Saharan Highway, fiber optic connectivity initiatives, and the enhancement of air and logistics transport, all of which contributes to reducing the isolation of inland regions and creating new opportunities for trade and investment.
مناطقنا الداخلية وفتح آفاق جديدة للتبادل التجاري والاستثمار.
Riyab stressed the two countries' commitment to continued coordination and consultation on regional and continental issues and called for promoting African solutions to African problems in full respect of state sovereignty.
وعلى الصعيد الإقليمي
On the regional level, we affirm our shared commitment to continuing coordination and consultation on various regional and continental issues, reflecting our common conviction in the unity of destiny and the need to strengthen African solutions to African problems within a framework of respect for the sovereignty of state and working towards achieving security and stability in the Sahel and Sahara region and across the entire African continent.
For his part, Chadian Prime Minister Halina described cooperation with Algeria as exemplary, calling it a model of practical diplomacy. Speaking at the groundbreaking ceremony for the Algerian-Chadian Solidarity Power Plant in N'Djamena on Monday, he said the project shows how African countries can turn political commitments into tangible results for their people. He also praised Algeria's continued support and underscored the strength of bilateral ties and growing cooperation across key sectors.
The ceremony that brings us together today is of particular importance, as it embodies the shared vision and enduring commitment of His Excellency Field Marshal Mohamed Idriss Déby Itno, His Excellency Mr. Abdelmajid Tebboune, President of the People's Democratic Republic of Algeria. The foundation stone we are laying today symbolizes more than just the launch of a construction project. It reflects the shared ambition to harness our cooperation to serve sustainable development, economic prosperity, and the well-being of our people. The speed with which these commitments have been translated into concrete actions reflects the quality of dialogue between our two governments, the effectiveness of cooperation between the Chadian and Algerian technical teams, and the values of trust, mutual respect, and solidarity upon which our partnership is founded.
Algerian Prime Minister Riyab was received on Monday by Chadian President Mohamed Idriss Déby Itno, according to the Algerian Prime Minister's office. Riyab also conveyed President of the Republic Mr. Abdelmajid Tebboune's strong commitment to reinforcing brotherhood, solidarity and cooperation between the two countries. Both sides also reviewed the current state of bilateral ties and explored prospects for expanded cooperation across various sectors. Algerian Prime Minister Riyab left Chad on Monday after an official visit focused on strengthening cooperation and partnership between the two nations. He was seen off at N'Djamena International Airport by Chadian Prime Minister Halina and senior officials. During the visit, both sides laid the foundation stone of the Algerian-Chadian Solidarity Power Plant in the Farsha Industrial Zone, underscoring their commitment to deeper economic and development cooperation. The new 40-megawatt plant in N'Djamena meets Chad's growing energy needs. It will boost electricity, economic activity, and living standards. A practical model of Algerian-Chadian solidarity. Zafar Jani has more in this report now.
After a long day of work under the relentless heat, Ahmed returns home as the sun sets over N'Djamena. The moment he steps through the door, his young son runs to greet him, holding a small screen that opens the door to a world of knowledge and discovery. For this family, electricity means far more than just turning on a light. It means giving children access to education, bringing knowledge, and creating new opportunities for a better and more dignified life.
In Chad, the main concern of the Chadian people is solving the electricity crisis. We are suffering from power shortages. The topic of the moment and the talk of the week is that the whole population is happy that the electricity crisis is now being addressed in a lasting way by Algeria.
For many families in Chad, access to these opportunities remains a daily struggle. In this landlocked Central African country, electricity is still a luxury for many. Power cuts are frequent, and in some areas, electricity remains unavailable altogether. Those who can afford it often rely on private generators, but the cost is a heavy burden.
On dit vraiment un grand merci.
We say thank you very much to our brothers in Algeria for this initiative, and we also thank the Algerian state, which has taken upon itself the responsibility of providing us with this power plant to alleviate our suffering, and all of the Chadian people regarding electricity, because we suffer a great deal from it. So we say to it, thank you, thank you.
Parce que nous en souffrons énormément, donc nous disons merci, merci, merci.
With a population of around 20 million people, Chad remains among the countries with the lowest electricity access rates in the world. Only about 1/3 of its population is connected to the power grid. As the country searched for a way out of its energy crisis, Algeria responded with speed and determination. In less than a month, the commitment turned into concrete action, with the foundation stone laid for a 40-megawatt power plant, a project reflecting the spirit of cooperation and solidarity between the two countries. While teams from Sonalgas prepared the technical stages of the project, a new source of energy is taking shape, one expected to bring electricity to homes and support Chad's development efforts.
This is a 40-megawatt power generation plant project. The project consists of 2 turbines, each with a capacity of 20 megawatts. This project is vital for Chad, as it will enable the launch of other projects, including economic and investment initiatives. It will also help improve the living conditions of the population in the city of N'Djamena and its surrounding areas.
This project is more than an energy facility. It is a bridge of cooperation between Algeria and Chad. By bringing electricity closer to communities, it aims to transform daily lives, empower families, and create new possibilities for education, economic activity, and sustainable development. A light that goes beyond homes to illuminate the future of an entire community.
The 77th session of the Trans-Saharan Road or Road Liaison Committee opened on Monday in Algiers with a focus on turning the route into an economic corridor driving development and integration across 6 countries. In his opening remarks, Algerian Minister of Public Works and Basic Infrastructure Abdelkader Jalawi reaffirmed Algeria's support for transforming the road into an integrated economic corridor aligned with a unified vision for sustainable development.
Our country reiterates its full support for transforming the Trans-Saharan Highway into an effective and integrated economic corridor through a new comprehensive approach that incorporates various strategic sectors, including roads, railways, fiber optic networks, energy infrastructure, and logistics services. This unified and coherent vision is aligned with the requirements of sustainable development and contributes directly and effectively to the implementation of the African Continental Free Trade Area as a key instrument for economic transformation and the promotion of intra-African trade. From this strategic perspective, the Algerian state is working to integrate the railway project linking the north and the south of the country into this broader vision as a strategic complement to the Trans-Saharan Highway and a permanent access for the movement of the people and goods.
The Algerian Minister of Public Works and Basic Infrastructure reaffirmed Algeria's commitment to helping complete sections of the Trans-Saharan Highway in Chad and Niger and extending it into Mauritania.
تواصل الجزائر جهودها الحثيثة.
Algeria continues its sustained efforts to complete the remaining sections of the Trans-Saharan Road within the sisterly Republic of Chad. These efforts on the ground have also included the deployment of specialized Algerian technical delegations to Chad in implementation of the Cooperation Memorandum of Understanding signed on 22nd April. On the sideline of this official visit, President of the Republic of Chad to Algeria, these joint African efforts aimed at advancing this strategic road project are also reflected in the Memoranda of Understanding signed between the government of Algeria and Niger. On the sidelines of the official visit of the President of the Republic of Niger to Algeria, these agreements provide for strengthening to exchange expertise between the two countries in the field of public works in a way that accelerates the pace of implementation and reinforces continental integration and connectivity. Furthermore, this project, considered a strategic priority for our country, is closely linked to other key projects, foremost among them the road linked between Tindouf in Algeria and Zouirat in Mauritania, covering a distance of approximately 8 kilometers, which Algeria regards as vital gateway to West Africa, with the possibility of linking this corridor to Trans-Saharan Road within a comprehensive and integrated system.
في منظومة تكاملية شاملة.
Member states of the Trans-Saharan Road Liaison Committee praised Algeria's key role in advancing the strategic project and its tangible contribution to its implementation on the ground.
Regarding the completion of the remaining sections in my country and given the deficit the state was facing during the visit that our president made to Algeria, agreements were signed to complete the two sections in question. This is considered a very important opportunity for Chad to be able to reach the port of Algeria. It is very important to us to know that Algeria intends to establish a free trade zone on the Nigerian side of the border. This free zone will contribute significantly to boosting the Nigerian economy by using Algerian port.
President of the Republic, Mr. Abdelmajid Tebboune, received former UN Secretary General Ban Ki-moon on Monday, who was accompanied by a high-level delegation. According to the Algerian presidency, the meeting included the director of the presidency office, Boualem Boualem, the Minister of State and Foreign Minister, Mr. Ahmed Attaf, Diplomatic Affairs Advisor Ammar Abba, and Environment Minister Kautar Kriko. President of the Republic, Mr. Abdelmajid Tebboune, awarded Ban Ki-moon the highest distinction of the Order of Merit in recognition of his efforts during his tenure at the United Nations, particularly in promoting security and combating poverty and fragility. Moving on to the Middle East developments now. Iranian missiles hit occupied territories. Iran said the strikes were in retaliation of Zionist bombings of Beirut's southern suburbs. The Middle East is once again on edge after 100 days of war. More on this report by Karim Mustafawi.
Tensions in the Middle East continue to rise after Tehran launched what it described as a warning missile strike against a Zionist airbase in the northern occupied territories in response to Zionist attacks against Beirut, the Lebanese capital. This attack is also a warning of a broader response that would target the Zionist entity and its regional supporters if such aggressions are repeated, as warned by the IRGC.
The Zionist army must stop its attacks on southern Lebanon and the suburbs, and if it expands its attacks on that region or responds to Iran's actions, it will face more crushing and regrettable blows, and destructive attacks will begin against the regime and its supporters.
The US President Donald Trump announced that he had spoken with the Zionist Prime Minister Netanyahu, whom he reportedly urged to refrain from further attacks, while the Iranian Foreign Ministry spokesperson Ismail Baqai held Washington responsible for the latest exchanges of fire with the Zionist entity.
America has direct responsibility in any action that the Zionist regime carries out in retaliation to violation of regional peace and security against Iran.
The Iranian military operation came just hours after strikes attributed to the Zionist entity hit the southern suburbs of Beirut, killing at least 11 people and injuring around 40 others, according to Lebanese health authorities. It's worth noting that Iran has repeatedly stated that any future peace agreement would depend on full respect for a ceasefire in Lebanon.
The Iranian armed forces announced on Monday a halt to their military operations against the Zionist entity. The Khatam al-Anbiya central headquarters vowed to resume operations and deliver harsher blows if attacks on Lebanon continued. It said the decision followed what it described as a painful response already inflicted on the Zionist entity. The Yemeni Houthi group announced the ban on navigation in the Red Sea for the Zionist occupation, declaring any movement in their area is a military target. Military spokesman Yahya Sariyah said in a statement on Monday that the group would intensify its operations and respond to escalation with escalation, confirming a new missile barrage targeting what he described as sensitive sites deep inside the occupied Palestinian territories. At least 10 people were killed and others wounded on Monday in a new wave of Zionist occupation airstrikes on southern Lebanon. A security source told Lebanon's national news agency that strikes hit a shelter for displaced people and women's gathering at the Mourning House in the town of Zifta, killing 4 people. 5 more died when a car and a building were targeted in the Tyre district. Separately, 1 person was also killed after Zionist occupation forces bombed the Red Cross Center in the Sidon district. The Zionist entity strikes on Beirut's southern suburbs killed 2 people and wounded 20 others. It is the first such attack since the ceasefire agreement. The capital is now under heightened scrutiny, with the corniche serving as a refuge for many residents. Marwa Belhu reports now.
Another day dawns over Lebanon under the shadow of war. In Beirut, life carries on, but a single question lingers in every mind. When will all this end?
Regarding what happened yesterday, no, of course, we hope that the whole situation ends and there would be no more escalation from either side, no more shelling, no more strikes, because this is leading to destruction, death and devastation. And certainly, nobody likes death, destruction and devastation. That's why we hope, from the bottom of my heart, I hope this escalation ends and this entire crisis ends, whether in Lebanon or in Iran.
On Sunday, the Zionist entity launched strikes on Beirut for the first time since the US announced a truce plan for Lebanon last week. In retaliation, Iran fired salvos of missiles at Zionist targets, but US President Donald Trump insisted that an agreement to end the wider war remained within reach.
Everyone is against Iran. Iran is not coming to defend us. We defend ourselves with Iran's help.
Against this backdrop, diplomatic efforts continue in the hope of bringing the war to an end. As for the Lebanese citizens, an ordinary, peaceful life has become the ultimate goal.
6 Palestinians were killed and others wounded in renewed Zionist occupation airstrikes on the Gaza Strip. According to a medical source, 3 people were killed, including a child, were killed and others injured when occupation warplanes struck a gathering of displaced people in the Jabalia refugee camp in northern Gaza. 3 others were killed in separate strikes in Khan Yunis in the south and in Deir el-Balah in central Gaza Strip. Now it is time to catch up on more international news stories in the News in Brief compiled to us by Salman Asib and Sofian Kinturi.
The Ukrainian military has announced that its armed forces have regained more than 600 square kilometers of territory that had been under Russian control since the beginning of this year. Army Commander Alexander Siersky confirmed on Monday that Ukraine has recaptured more territory than it has lost in separate sectors along the front line against Russian forces. A magnitude 6.1 earthquake struck Cuba's northwest coast on Monday, according to the U.S. Geological Survey, with tremors felt in parts of Cuba, Mexico, and Florida. The quake's epicenter was located about 104 kilometers west-northwest of Mantua, Cuba, at a depth of 26 kilometers. The earthquake raised concerns in Cuba, where many buildings are vulnerable due to years of economic hardship and poor infrastructure. Chilean authorities announced the largest drug-related seizure in the country's history, intercepting more than 100 tons of wood contaminated with illicit substances at the ports of Arica, Valparaiso, and San Antonio. The operation, conducted jointly by prosecutors, the Navy and customs officials, uncovered cargo containing an estimated 108 tons of cocaine, hydrochloride, and ketamine, according to Regional Prefecture Mario Carrera. Each piece of wood was found to contain between 10% and 20% drugs. The Algerian national football team arrived in Kansas City, USA early Monday ahead of its 5th FIFA World Cup appearance. The squad traveled on a special Air Algerie flight from Algiers with players, coaches and support staff on board. Led by Captain Riyad Mahrez, the team received a warm welcome from Algeria's ambassador to the United States, Boukadoum, as well as hundreds of Algerian fans who created a festive atmosphere with flags, chants and fireworks.
That's all for tonight's program. Thank you for tuning in. See you next time.